Hi there, I'm Micky and this is Jacko. And we're currently heading along the amazing Great Ocean Road, straight for Anglesea. My stepbrother Dane, who has lived here for 10 years now, represents the Anglesea Business and Trade Association. He's decided to invite us down to showcase what the town really has to offer. To kick things off, Dame asked us to meet him at one of his favourite spots, along the Surf Coast Walk, where it was great to have a catch-up and hear more about the reason for bringing us down.
Dame, absolute pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you from this man right here. Thank you so much for bringing us down to Anglesea.
Well, welcome to Anglesea.
Cheers, mate. And if it's all right, do you mind telling us why you've invited us down here and what the purpose was?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the pandemic's really hit the tourism industry, and especially towns like Anglesea, which 100% rely on tourism. So the businesses have really banded together, wanting to welcome back friends and family to Anglesea when it's safe to do so. That's why I've invited you as my stepbrother and Jacko as Michael's friend, so I can showcase to you guys why I love Anglesea and all the things that I love to see and do around this beautiful town.
So, mate, we're obviously at the Surf Coast Walk, which is one of your favourite spots, and for good reason, I can see. Is there any other spots or walking trails that you would recommend? Because Anglesea is famous for its walking trails.
Yeah, definitely. So you've got the Anglesea Perimeter Walk, which is an east and west, which are just absolutely beautiful. If you're prepared to get a little bit dirtier and go off the beaten track, it's just spectacular, especially, out in nature. All you can hear is the birds. You might see a wallaby or kangaroo, and this time of year you'll see, heaps of wildflowers and orchards. One of my favourite lookouts, just over my right shoulder, you can kind of see two chairs at the top of that hill.
Yeah, I got it.
Which is just on top of the footy and cricket ground. It's a fantastic spot which kind of overlooks the coast, the coastline and the Surf Coast Walk. But that's one of the areas of the Anglesea Perimeter Walk. And then towards the back of Anglesea, actually Parks Vic have just opened up a new lookout which overlooks the Anglesea Heath. And they've got a bench seat which is the shape of a leaf, and it's just absolutely spectacular. It's a bit of a drive to get out there, but it's well worth it. And there's some trails out there that you can walk along as well. So you probably need a week or two if you want to explore all of them.
Oh, we'll get cracking on it pretty quickly, I'd imagine. So this is the Surf Coast Walk here. Where does it start and finish?
So it starts in Torquay and then spans 42 kilometres through to Aries Inlet. So. My favourite spots are...
Get that done today?
Yeah, you can.
The way we want, mate, of course.
Two of my favourite parts of the Surf Coast Walk is one from Anglesea all the way to Point Addis, which is just spectacular. And then also in the other direction from O'Donoghue's Beach, which is kind of towards the end of Anglesea through to Urquhart's Bluff. Along the beach there, it's just spectacular.
Oh, awesome. And you were telling me before that there's a little bit planned for us, or...
Yes, I'm not going to tell you too much, but
a couple of surprises.
Be ready at sunrise tomorrow. We're going to start the morning at Point Road night, and I've got a little surprise for you to start the day.
Okay,
fantastic.
Why does it have to be sunrise?
Mate, we've got limited time.
No, that's awesome. All right, well, mate, seriously, thank you so much for having us down. Really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to it because we were saying before, Anglesea is a place we've been before but we've never really experienced. So looking forward to the experience and see how we go.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Dame. Can't wait to get into it.
Good. I look forward to hearing your feedback.
So, Jacko and I set out to experience the town of Anglesea. We'd be checking out what the town had to offer. Plus, be meeting some of the town's small business owners to hear how the situation has impacted them. Not only that, there would be a few surprising faces to join us along the journey. Jacko and I were looking forward to finding out what we'd been missing. This is the Great Anglesea Sleepover. Jacko and I were up at first light and headed down to Point Road Night Beach to do something, well, that we didn't expect to be doing, to be honest. It was a welcome to country ceremony that would be performed by a member of the Wadawurrung traditional owners of the land, Corrina Eccles.
Corrina Eccles provides and hosts the famous 3-day guided coastal walk, which educates and connects people to Wadawurrung country. After Micky and I received our welcome, we were then lucky enough to go for a little stroll with Corrina, where we heard a lot more about the connection between Wadawurrung and Anglesea, plus a little about what her guided walks have to offer.
So Wadawurrung Aboriginal Corporation We are the registered Aboriginal party of the traditional owners of this region. So Anglesea is part of Wadawurrung country. Anglesea's original name was Quackadoola, and that was a Wadawurrung name. But over time, we've seen a lot of the traditional history be lost. And Wadawurrung provide a 3-day walk, coastal walk, which is incorporating a cultural walk and talk. So we walk people along this beautiful place in this area, across Wadawurrung country, and we share the significant stories of our people, how they lived a sustainable life in this beautiful country, Wadawurrung country. We teach them ways of our old people. We connect them to the country. We get them to listen to the sounds of country, which are connected to our Wadawurrung language. There is no other place that provides a 3-day walk in Victoria, across country, sharing cultural knowledge. And I think we have such a beautiful coastline here in Wadawurrung country that it's a brilliant opportunity for people to travel on the Great Ocean Road and participate in the 3-day walk, or contact Wadawurrung to have some sessions to learn more about this beautiful coastline and country.
It was such a beautiful and insightful morning spent with Corrina, and waking up early was definitely worth it. We then received word from Dame to head further up the beach to meet another special guest who'd be telling us a bit more about their love for the town of Anglesea.
Turns out it was none other than the Australian and Melbourne Vixens netballer, Tegan Philip, who's a former local and was keen to tell us about her connection to the town.
Could you tell us a bit about how the journey started with netball here, and like you did start at the Anglesea Netball Club, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that combined with the footy club, or is it?
Yep. So Anglesea Football Netball Club are together. So the courts are pretty much right beside the oval, and I started thanks to my parents, who got me into playing netball, and most people in the town went to Anglesea Primary School, and on a Saturday, that's what we did, was we either went and played football or netball. And so they got me into playing when I was about 7, and had them coach me while I was there, and played all my juniors there, and just loved it. I mean, I love playing netball, but doing it for the town of Anglesea and having the football alongside, and it's just back to that sense of community again.
What would be your local tips to do here around Anglesea? What would you suggest?
Yeah.
Coming through?
Yep. The Surf Coast Walk, there's a section of that just here in Anglesea, and I used to run along that, so that's one of my little fave go-tos, as well as obviously walking along the beach. And then, the shops, going to Poppy's for a coffee and some food, and, hanging out at Kagura Park, getting a few people there, and, sitting and having a picnic lunch by the river, and playing from some frisbee or kicking the footy and things like that. They're the things that I really like to do when I'm in Anglesea, and doing it with other people is just really nice and enjoyable, and spending that time with each other.
Basically, we are getting hungry.
Yes.
It's that time of the day.
Because, it is that time of the day now, and we're wondering do you have any recommendations for lunch or anything like that?
Well, one of my go-tos is Oaks Bakery, so I think we should hit that up.
All right, let's
Excellent,
go check it out.
let's do it.
On our way to Oaks Bakery, Tegan did mention that our go-to option was a couple of yo-yos. This got us even more excited to eat. But first, we met up with Dean, the owner of Oaks Bakery, who spoke to us a little on how it's been a bit of a tough time for his business, but how it's also been really great to see the community come together through it all.
Yeah, look, obviously it's hit us pretty hard, being obviously a tourist destination. We lost our Easter trade, the school holiday trade, and weekends, which was massive. But in saying that though, the support of the locals, the town, it's been massive. It's been awesome. We do make everything here on site, from bread, cakes, savouries, pies, sausage rolls, the works. Any support is greatly appreciated. Obviously the whole town needs it, so not to sort of trying to chase it all for ourselves, but yeah, you can support the community and and whatnot. That'd be fantastic.
It was great to hear from a local like Dean, and it got us even more keen to try out some of the delicious treats on offer.
That one there.
We opted for the bakery classics, of course the yo-yos, and a couple of jam donuts. Now, Tegan and I may have disagreed on how to eat these,
Nah.
You go straight into it.
Yeah.
but we definitely agreed on our enjoyment of them. That's for sure.
Score this a 9.8.
And I could definitely vouch for the jam donuts as well.
It's even better, mate.
And so what are your plans for the rest of your stay?
Well, we don't really know yet. Like, we were just thinking of staying the night, and
You're only going to stay one night?
it's looking like it. It's looking like it. We only plan just to stay a night and just, come visit my stepbrother for a bit of a sleepover, and we'll see what happens from there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, surely I've convinced you to stay a bit longer.
Look, this yo-yo is convincing me. Definitely I'm staying longer.
Yeah, perfect.
Because I want to be coming back for more of these. But we'll see how the journey goes. Right now, this has been a really cool place to visit. And it's cool because we're meeting a lot of nice people,
Yeah.
checking out a lot of cool places. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Sure has been interesting. When we think back to just the start of the day, when Jacko and I were being welcomed to country by Corrina Eccles and experiencing her guided walk along Point Road 9 Beach, completely changing our perspective of the land. Then, getting to go for a stroll with Tegan Philip and her little one, to hear more about what she loves to do at this time of year, and getting to go on a trip down memory lane to hear some great memories at the Anglesea Netball Club. Lastly, it was to the main strip, where we met Dean the baker, owner of Oaks Bakery. He shared with us a little on how this time has been for his business and how great it's been to see the entire town come together and help each other out. And of course, treat us to some fantastic yo-yos. It's definitely been a day to remember, and we can't help but admit that we're excited to wake up to Anglesea.
What's the go-to?
Okay.
Pie, pasty.
Yeah. Yep. The pies. I just love the loaf of bread though as well, so I'll be getting one of those for the when I go home. And vanilla slice is my favourite.
Oh yeah. What is it?
Also the yo-yos. I could just name them.
Might just have to be a feast, Micky.
You
gonna
can't go
prepare
there
myself.
and not grab some yo-yos.
Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better that you still still have this problem. Because I thought it was just me once.
It's like, yeah. Like, the bakery now is like, when you go to those country towns and you have to go to the bakery, that's what we have in Anglesea now. I'm so excited.
It's done now. I'm getting one. Like when we go
We're
there,
locked in.
It's happening. It's happening. Yeah.